the Trevor Jackson Podcast.
Before we get into the review, I want to say salute to all the page flippers, the hard copies, the paperback readers that's indulging in the books, man. Salute to y'all, real talk. Also, the people that got their earbuds in listening to the audio version, man. Salute. Round of applause. I know I've been lacking on the channel with reviewing books as of lately in the library. And I've had a lot going on in my life, right? Real talk, like a lot going on. And I'm going to get back to it, man. Real spill. But I didn't read this book. I purchased the audio version. And I like purchasing certain books, the audio version, because that means I can get some clips from it. I can screen record and put graphics around the clips and share it with y'all. But this book was just released yesterday. And I listened to 6 hours like it wasn't nothing because it was so good. And to be honest with y'all, Charlamagne, the guy, has a lot of critics. He has a lot of people that talks bad about him because of things that he done and said on the radio. He gives a lot of takes. He got a podcast. He gets interviewed a lot. And he talks about politics now. And he talks a lot. So, you know what I mean? I give him a little leeway on some of his takes because when you talk that much, you're liable to make a mistake. You know what I mean? But seeing this man evolve is a beautiful thing. Seeing any man evolve is a beautiful thing from where they come from. He's from Moncks Corner, South Carolina. That is a different place. A different place. To make it out of there and do his thing in Philadelphia with Wendy Williams, and now to be with the Breakfast Club and the Brilliant Idiots, and he's doing his thing. I salute that, man. But let me quit talking. These topics that I'm about to pull up and these clips I'm gonna pull up, they're in no particular order. So this might be chapter 9, chapter 1, chapter 4. It might be, but these are the things in the book that really caught my attention, and I'm gonna give y'all the first one. Encourage others with your words.
Even as a kid, I can remember my mother saying, "You and your dad don't know how to talk to people." By that, she meant we were too direct, too blunt, too discouraging. I can remember my father constantly telling me, "Boy, the fastest way between 2 points is a straight line." In other words, get straight to the point. Don't blow smoke up people's asses. Give them the hard truths they need to hear. If you went to my dad and said, "Hey, Big Larry, I want to start a barbecue restaurant in Moncks Corner. What do you think?" He'd give you all the reasons why it wouldn't work before saying, "Hey, but let's figure it out." I carried a lot of that discouraging mentality out of my teenage years and into my career. As a radio DJ, doubting people almost became my calling card. I even used to bill myself as a demotivational speaker. It became such a part of my identity that I even labeled a chapter in my first book, Black Privilege, "Fuck Your Dreams." I put my belief into practice. As my stature grew in the entertainment field, people would constantly ask me for career advice. If I thought they sounded whack as a rapper, I'd say, "Fuck your rap dreams. You suck." If they wanted to be on the radio and I didn't think they had what it takes, I'd say, "Fuck your radio dreams." I thought I was doing those people a favor. I even used to say, if you don't have anything nice to say it anyway. I maintained my motives weren't bad. I was really trying to save people from disappointment and wasting their time. But as Elliot taught me, it wasn't my job to protect people from failing. My job, and the job of all of us, is to encourage people to reach as high as they can.
You know, I'm from the South also. I got something to say about that because that I paused the book right there and it made me think, because that's normal. Like, not encouraging people with their words. Dream killers. You know, some people will say, "I can't lie to you. I got to tell you the truth. You ain't going to make it to the NBA." You don't realize how bad that is until you have kids. I don't have kids though, but that's what Charlamagne talks about in the book. That's what I heard from my brothers and females and stuff. Don't kill a child's dream. You know, I grew up in Knoxville, Tennessee, in the projects, and it was so many dream killers there. Like, I couldn't walk nowhere and hear positivity. All I could remember was being told what I couldn't be, instead of being encouraged about what I could be. I grew up thinking I was going to be an architect, a brain surgeon, or something like that. And a successful hip hop artist. Even when I started doing hip hop artists as a grown man, people's like, I don't know about that one. I don't know about that. That's lame. That's this. And I had to build up self-confidence in everything I did to become successful. And then once I built up self-confidence and I could hear the negativity, I had to remove myself from the people so I couldn't continuously hear it. Because they dream killers. Even with this podcast, dream killers. Discouraging words. So many people are discouraging. Even people that has participated in this podcast. And people that has participated in the shows and in my life. But I can hear it now and I can remove it faster. That's interesting though. How many dream killers y'all know? Let's get back into the reaction, man, because I got passionate about that. Like real passionate about that. On this clip, he talks about the youth. And he talks about social media and the effects that it's having on individuals.
This generation loves being the hare, but doesn't have much respect for the tortoise. They're so eager to get out ahead of everyone, they don't even realize there's a whole race to run. And a lot of times they get halfway done and decide to chill. Then they see someone move ahead of them and think, what happened? This isn't fair. I'll tell you what happened. You thought this was a sprint when it's really a marathon. Apologies if I sound like a broken record. You know, one of those things we used to play music on. But once again, I blame social media. On Instagram, we see the hiker at the top of the mountain. We see the picture of them smiling, taking in the majestic views. But we don't see the climb itself. We see the new home with the ocean views. But we don't see the years of hard work. Nepo babies excluded. That went into saving up for that mortgage. We see someone post about losing 30 pounds. But they don't tell you they are an Ozempic gold medalist. There's a reason we don't consider the journey. It is often difficult. It is lonely and uncomfortable. When my beige buddy Drake said, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym, that's exactly what he meant. He was in there all by his damn self. You got to put up 1,000 shots on your own before you get the chance to make that buzzer beater on national TV. That's called the process.
You know, I like that clip also because even as a 44-year-old man, sometimes I forget about the process. Sometimes I forget about the marathon and how hard it is and the breakthrough moment that you have to have when you're trying to achieve anything. It's not just your dreams. It's not just to buy a home or a car or getting married. It's everything is a marathon. I like that. Social media gives us a false sense of reality because we see people looking beautiful. We see people purchasing things and succeeding in life. And you want to achieve those things. You want to lose the weight. You want to eat those beautiful meals. You want to go to those beautiful islands, but you don't know what it takes to get there. And you don't even know if you're willing to do what it takes to get there yet. But to be honest with y'all, man, it's like I feel as if we all need to take a step back and learn and have knowledge of self and know who we are. And I like that. I like that. It's a marathon, man. That's all I got to say about that clip. So far, those two clips is like they hit me hard, man, because I indulge in social media because I create on the podcast and stuff like that. I promote on there and whatever. And when I start promoting and I put up something, I get to scrolling and wasting time. And I don't like wasting my time because, you know what I mean, I'm a grown man. I got things I got to do. I got things I got to handle. I got dreams and stuff still that I got to achieve. And so we about to switch a rule on the conversation and make it a little lighter. But it's still educational. And it's something that I have been a part of since a teenager. Hip hop. Hip hop has changed. When I first indulged in hip hop, I think rock and R&B was the dominant genres of music, and pop, Let me not forget about pop. But all three of those genres of music was ahead of hip hop. Pop, rock, and R&B. Now, hip hop is the most influential. It's the most powerful genre of music. And it is affecting and influencing the children in ways that they don't know. It has influenced me in ways that I'm learning about and will continue to learn about that could have altered my life if I wouldn't have never heard, seen, or participated in hip hop.
There's no doubt that the culture has had a positive impact on me and my community. It's given us so much great music and beautiful moments. It's given a voice to people who are voiceless. And yes, it's made a lot of us serious money. It's allowed us to better our lives and the lives of our family and friends. But the bigger conversation is, at what cost? I came up during the 90s and early 2000s, when a lot of rappers realized that talking about gangster topics, things they would never actually do themselves, was a path to making millions of dollars. To me, when you're promoting violent content strictly for the sake of profit, that's a very dangerous form of small talk. That moment is where things got ugly. Soon you had whole generations of youngsters saying, well, these guys have been providing the soundtrack to our lives, but we really live it. So if we really live it, we might as well rap about it too. The micro-minded voices in hip-hop were getting macro exposure, and it led to way too much small-minded content in rap. When I think of how the elders that came before us, folks like KRS-One and Chuck D, understood the power of hip-hop, but we misused it, I'll be honest, it kind of saddens me. If more artists would have listened to those elders, then a whole generation of people, including my generation, would have been influenced to speak to larger issues impacting our community instead of wasting so much time on the small shit.
Like the abbreviation of this book is Small Talk Sucks. I like that statement where he said, the micro-minded voices of hip hop are getting macro exposure. Wow. It's like he said that also artists were talking about things that they weren't living. And there was a lot of successful ones doing that. And I think that in hip hop, it is a hidden agenda to mislead the youth. It is a path to the prison system because we follow these people that's promoting these things, and then people go out and really try to live it and really try to achieve it. And I'm one of those individuals. I'm one of the originators of trap and hustle and street music. One of the originals. I was blatantly rapping about the life that I was living, blatantly. I remember people were scared to be around me at one point in time, saying that I was going to go to jail for the things that I said, but it was my reality and it was all that I knew. Now that I look back at that, that was foolishness. But I was taught to be straightforward, that was cool. Be who you are. Talk about your environment. F the police from NWA. They're the enemy. Mr. Big. They call me Mr. Big, not because of my size. 8-Ball and MJG. Top authority. You know, that was blatantly, I had to pop them. They was blatantly rapping about the things in the street. Now, we criticize and we don't appreciate conscious artists or artists like J. Cole. He done apologized and he's getting backlash for being a smart dude, for backing away from not contributing to the foolishness. We want to celebrate the people that's contributing to the foolishness, but we don't celebrate the conscious, the thought-provoking people. But I think that that's going to change eventually. But the investors will have to change also. The people that's investing in the culture. So I'm going to get into this last topic of discussion. And I'm going to give y'all my rating of the book. I think that y'all need to go check it out, man, and go read it. Salute to Charlamagne the God one more time, though. But this part of the review is about nature. Let's get to it, man.
I've become a big proponent of a practice called grounding. It's also known as earthing. And I found it's one of the easiest ways you can improve your health, mental and physical, through nature. Here's how it works. Kick off your shoes, find a safe piece of grass or dirt, no broken glass, and just walk around. Feel the earth underneath you and allow yourself to soak up all the healing energy it's giving you. Focus on your breath. I promise if you start your practice in an anxious state, you'll feel better in minutes. According to the National Institutes of Health, a recent study on grounding has found that it also helps reduce inflammation, promotes better sleep, and improves blood flow. I know so many folks who are struggling with their health that would benefit from this practice. The other practice I use my backyard for is tree hugging. I know that when a lot of you hear the term tree hugger, you probably think a white hippie's allergic to deodorant. That's fine. I used to think that way too. But let me tell you, today this proud black man who still loves deodorant is a full-blown tree hugger. Any chance I get, I walk out into my backyard, put my hands on a tree, lean my head against it, and start to meditate.
Now, I'm glad I finished it off with that because I'm a country boy. Real deal country boy. I moved to a metropolitan city and I realized the traffic. Not being around that much nature creates anxiety. It creates something that I never felt before in the country. Like I used to could go on trails and walks and be amongst nature. We used to drink out the hose. We used to run and stuff with our shoes off. And like that creates a sense of oneness with the world, a sense of being a part of the world. And people might think that, Trev, you're talking crazy, but I've been a vegan for 8 years now, since 2016. And I could tell y'all, eating a vegetarian or a vegan or just vegetable diet, man, it's interesting because it took the malice out of me. It took I don't know, it's something about the predatory nature that eating meat gives you. And the reason this is important too, because nature, being amongst nature, because a lot of us, once we get older and we get out of school and we have responsibilities, we at the cubicle more than we at our house. We in the warehouse more than we in our house. When you're in the cubicle, you're in a box. In a box, and you're isolated and the AC blowing and there's artificial air and you're amongst people eating unhealthy snacks. You're in there eating your chips, got your soda, your Doritos, your hamburger with extra bacon and cheese on it. We are consuming everything that's artificial. When you're amongst the earth and you're one with nature, man, go for a walk today. If you feeling bad, go for a jog, sweat, and start breathing hard. You know what I mean? Get your blood flowing. Remain childlike. Dope, man. I'm going to tell you my rating of this book. I rated a 9 out of a 10. Why Small Talk Sucks. Get honest or die lying. Why small talk sucks. Don't lie to yourself. Get honest with yourself. Quit talking small to your partners and your people that's in your circle. Talk about the truth, big things. Talk about evolving and bettering yourself. And I have to do more of that also. Hey, I appreciate y'all for tuning in to the episode, man. We're going to be doing more book reviews here soon, man. Thank y'all. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see us continue to evolve. You know, go ahead and donate to the Cash App, man. Peace, love, plenty of abundance. Make sure you go get you some money. And I'm gone. Chip.
The Charlamagne Jackson Podcast.